Since the start of the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, a huge amount of military equipment has been destroyed. In connection with this, both sides have begun using decoy tanks on the battlefield, which can easily be confused with real equipment from a distance, writes Forbes. It is noted that decoys are used by Ukraine and Russia to mislead enemy drones. Thanks to this, the enemy spends resources to destroy the decoy. The publication recalled that decoy armored vehicles have been used in military conflicts for almost a century. However, the war in Ukraine has led to huge progress in their design and effectiveness. The complexity of fake targets on the battlefield between Russia and Ukraine varies significantly, the publication emphasized. For example, not long ago, 2 BMP-1 decoys were spotted on the battlefield, which were made of a wooden frame and covered with thick canvas fabric. Instead of a real gun, the decoy received an ordinary pipe. It is unknown whose soldiers these vehicles belonged to. The publication shared that such primitive decoys have become easy to recognize with the help of modern technologies, so more complex and convincing decoys have appeared. For example, Ukrainian replicas of the Leopard 2A6 tank, which were made of solid wood panels that exactly replicate the size and shape of the tank. They are so heavy that a military truck is required to transport them to positions. According to social media posts cited by the publication, the Russians used several Lancet loitering munitions to destroy these false targets. Moreover, a decoy Leopard 2A4 with a camouflage net was spotted in the Donetsk region, which further complicates target identification. In this case, the Russians also had to use several Lancets. In addition, Ukraine and Russia have expanded the use of decoys to include inflatable models, the publication recalled. Recently, Ukrainian UAV operators spotted a group of Russian T-72 tanks at the front, all of which turned out to be inflatable decoys. Such decoys have rounded corners and lack many of the details that real equipment has. The publication reported that the Russian decoys were most likely developed by the company Rusbal, which produces hot air balloons and inflatable models. Inflatable models are supplied to Ukraine by the Czech company Inflatech, which in 2024 reported that it had sent fake Leopard 2A4 tanks and other decoys to the country. The publication added that inflatable decoys can be quickly deployed and easily transported. They are also a relatively cheap means of confusing the enemy. As technology improves, decoys are becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish from real armored vehicles, the publication emphasized. Some of the new models are equipped with infrared and radar reflectors that simulate the thermal radiation and radar cross-section of a real tank. Others are equipped with motorized turrets to make them appear fully functional for aerial surveillance. According to a report from 12K Defense, a US company that makes inflatable decoys for the military, future models will use super strong fabrics and smart materials to increase stability. The company also predicted that the decoys could be deployed autonomously. Meanwhile, Kiev-based Temeland Military Solutions is taking things a step further with its active dummies concept. The publication explained that these are dummy tank frames mounted on civilian trucks and controlled remotely. Although they are not functional tanks, their mobility allows them to be moved around like real combat units.
Ukrainians woke up on Tuesday to news that the Trump administration has paused military aid for their fight against Russia's invasion, days after a disastrous Oval Office row that has deepened a rift between Kiev and the White House. According to Associated Press, U.S. President Donald Trump directed the U.S. to pause all assistance to Ukraine as he seeks to pressure Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to engage in peace talks with Russia. The decision appears to halt arms deliveries approved under the Biden administration, but it was not clear whether deliveries of ammunition for weapon systems already in Ukraine would be affected. On Kiev's Independence Square, some passers-by were disappointed by the decision but were undeterred. Ivan, a 40-year-old soldier who did not provide a last name, joined the armed forces as a volunteer at the beginning of the Russian invasion in 2022. He was injured and now provides families of the military with social care in his hometown of Kharkiv. Though unsurprised by the news, he thought the decision was unfair as the US had promised to protect Ukraine. "There is no need to humiliate us, we will still defend our right to exist to the end," he told the Associated Press. Meanwhile, Alina Fedorova from Odessa held out hope that Trump might change his mind and restart the flow of military aid. "I hope that, as he has such a changeable mood, that another idea will come to him. And he will understand whose side he should be on," she said.
Я хотів сказати, що люди – це не карти, шановні. Вон, подивіться, цвіт нації лежить, а ви все розмовляєте, розказуєте, що ми не в тому становищі. Не треба нас принижувати, ми все одно будемо до останнього відстоювати право на своє існування. Я вважаю, що якби вони переймались за населення, за народ України, за цивільне населення, за цих людей, які живуть у цьому місці, то вони б не припиняли надання допомоги у вигляді ракет ПВО, систем захисту, ребів і так далі. Вони закривають все це, вони показують, що люди їм не цікаві взагалі.
Жалко только то, что города разбиты, ребята лежат в земле. Вот это вот больше всего. Все остальное это можно пережить, можно исправить, а вот этого уже, наверное, никак не исправишь.
Ну, в мене є надія, що це, нехай Трамп мене вибачить. Да. Ну, я сподіваюся, що це така тимчасова міра, що все буде добре. Я сподіваюся, що ми і без Трампа зможемо, дещо, це неправда, що ми не можемо нічого, як він вам наказав, що 2 неділі і все було. Ні. Але дійсно нам потрібна допомога, потрібна ця допомога, тому я сподіваюся, що Трамп, він по гороскопу близнюки. Я сподіваюся, що у нього такий минливий настрій. І щось прийде до нього інша ідея, і він все ж таки зрозуміє, на чому боці він повинен знаходитись.